Welcome again to my channel. I'm Munib Siddiqui. I did my bachelor's and master's in computer science and engineering. I'm computer vision engineer by profession, and in this video I'm going to explain Python variable and how you can use it. So think of variable as a container that you store data value into it. Basically, the container in computer is memory, and to add some data to computer memory through programming, you have to use variable. Variable is a common term in programming. Basically, in all these programming languages like C++, C#, Java, you use the term variable. Python makes variable a lot easy. There is no dynamic assignment or static assignment or constant. These are not common in Python. Automatically assign as soon as you define the variable. We have pretty common variable types like strings, integer, float, dictionary, list, tuple, set. I'll come to that. In this video, we will just go for some of the primitive types such as integer, float, string, and Boolean. And you can see that these are the common types of Python variables that you can use. So that's enough for the theory. We can jump right into the code. If you want to have a variable, if you want to declare a variable, just give it a name and the equal sign and assign some value to it. For example, if I have an x value named to x equal to 5, so that's how I declare a variable. Very simple, right? Is assigned a value of 5, and that 5 is stored into computer memory. To print it out, all you need to do is just do print x, and you can run it using right click, run Python, or you can run it using Control-Shift-R. So this is the value. We get it back from the memory and print it. Basically, in Python, there is no type. The Python understands the type and get it. For example, in this case, x equal to 6, the type is integer because it is an integer value. Or if you assign something like, let's say, name equals to my name, so the type is string in here. The Python automatically understands the type during the declaration. You can, if you assign, for example, y equals to 3.99, so the type in here is float. Or if you assign some, let's say, is a to Boolean, for example, then the type of this variable is Boolean. That's how you define primitive variables in Python. It's pretty straightforward. All you need to do is just assign the value, and that's it. If you want to access any of the variable, just print it. Is okay, and then run. You can run it by using, and then you get value of this is okay, which is false. Or you can print another variable value, example, name, and then run it, get back. To get the type of the variable, you can also use the type function. For example, if I want to know the type of the variable x, then you can use type and get the type. In this case, it has to print integer, which is correct. And if you want to get the type of name, all you need to do is put it into the type function and then run it, and you will get the type value for this name variable, which is a string. Or if you want to get the type value of y, which is a float number, then you can just write it and run it, and you'll get the float. You're not required to define variable type in Python, but sometimes if you face a situation where you need to convert or statically define the type, you can do that by casting. So to do so, For example, I have a variable, let's say x, and I want to make sure that the value of this x is float. So all you need to do is define the float and then put 2. An integer value, for example. Then in this case, x gets the type float. If you print that type x, you get type float. You can do similar thing for, let's say, string. If you want to make sure something is, for example, x is string value, and now I want to make sure that this value that I assigned is a string rather than a float or integer. If you run this, you will get all these types for values. From here, see that first one is we define it statically to be float, so it's float. And then the second one is a string, so we have the value of string. And then you have the value of Boolean, you have the value of integer. Want to print the value of the integer, it is indeed an integer value. 0.99 is basically done. You can define a string using either single quote or double quote in Python. For example, you can say name equals to, using double quote, and you can say, for example, job, you can use single quote in here, say engineer. And that it's still working. See, this is just working fine. There will be a separate video about string. It will be coming soon. So in there you will learn when we can use double quote and when we can use single quote. So stay tuned for that video, and you will get a detailed understanding of string variable in Python. Also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we have other types of variables as well, including list, dictionary, and tuple, set, ordered, and ordered dictionary, these kind of variables as well. We'll come to that later on, and in the separate videos, please check that too, and we'll see how we can use them. One last thing you need to know is case sensitive. Remember that Python is case sensitive. That means if I write, that means that if you define is okay, that is different than is okay. So these are the two different value, and they're conflict. So whenever you give write Python code, try to remember this point, because otherwise you will face a lot of problem bugging or coming issues. And the tip of the video for this video, the tip is that the naming. How would you name Python variables? I've seen a lot of beginners struggling with naming. Sometimes they just give a name like C equals to, let's say, name, or this is a value that, or say 45.2, or some people just to write like T1000, basically that ST is students. So this naming, it's okay, Python will understand that, and you will probably understand that too, but don't go for that. Always try to write a descriptive name. For example, if you have a variable and you want to say student counts, so try to write it student counts 1000, right? Something like this. Or if you mean to plus number, then write it. For example, class number 4. And do not combine the when you write a complete name, do not combine them, because it's hard to read if you write this as class number 4 like this, although it's readable but still hard to read. So always try to give your variables, whatever you put into your program, try to be as descriptive as possible. And also for a Boolean value, try to make sure that what you mean by the Boolean is actually referring to that Boolean. For example, is okay, is true. Usually we put is or has at the beginning of a variable that is Boolean, for example, is right, or is, say this is full, or has, let's say, has students. So something like that. You can say these are, by reading the name, someone will understand that okay, this is a Boolean variable, or this is something that is decision is going to be made on it. Remember these naming style. I mean, not bound to this naming, but try to give as descriptive to your variables as possible. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's helpful. If there is anything you would like to know about Python variables, please write it down below in the comment section. I'll come to check it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you.